turn the music off, shall we? How are you? It's so good to see you. Friday afternoon, Brisbane, 4:30. What a fabulous sunny day it was. It's no longer. It's quite cloudy out there now, but that's quite good. How are you? I'm Katie Gordon. I'm the founder of Dietless Living and the creator of personal health leadership programs, The Real Alternative to Dieting, and the author of The Missing Link to Sustainable Weight Loss. And I'm doing these live broadcasts every Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays just to get on and chat with you about all kinds of things to do with eating patterns and behaviors and why we do the things that we do, even the things that we do that aren't related to food. So today we're talking about why it is that you go to the kitchen and become a fridge raider, going on the hunt for food multiple times in a day when you know that you're not hungry and when you know that you don't even, the food that you're picking at isn't really anything that you particularly want. You know, I mean, how many times have you found yourself in the fridge searching around, just sort of standing there looking and hoping that the contents of the refrigerator have changed since the last time you looked 5 minutes ago, or been into the fridge, found something, and instead of going and sitting down eating at the table, you're just kind of eating over the sink. So I don't know the randomness of eating over the sink. I saw a guy once said he was going to write a book called The Crumbless Kitchen, The Art of Eating Over the Sink. But we do that. We just stand and eat over the sink, kind of with a mindless hand-to-mouth movement, a vague idea of what we're doing, but not really understanding what we're doing, why we're doing it, or, more importantly, how to not be doing it. So I want to talk to you today about all of that, because even when there's nothing in that fridge that we want, there's just this kind of random need to do something, and the need ends up being food. And if there's nothing to eat, we end up just, putting on the kettle, making another cup of tea or another cup of coffee, or getting some kind of a drink, a fizzy drink, whatever it is. We just have to do something because we get into the kitchen and it's like, why am I here? Or the fridge. Sometimes you end up just right at the fridge and then you go, why am I here? And it's a really peculiar habit that we have. And for a lot of people, it's actually the habit that is their downfall when it comes to managing food habits, managing food intake, when it comes to wanting to lose weight and stick to a diet. And that's why I think they build in snacks in diets and talk about snacking a lot, because it's very common for people to be grazing, and really grazing isn't what helps us. I know there's all the kinds of schools of thought. If you wanted to find something online about why you should eat 6 times a day, you'd find 1,000 things. If you wanted to find something online about why you should only eat 3 times a day, you'd find 1,000 things. If you wanted to find something online about fasting 2 days out of every 7, or the 16-hour fast, or there's all kinds of eating styles out there and science to back it up. So which one is true? They're all true, because they're all true for someone, and they've all got science to prove them, so they must all be true. But what is true for you is what works for you. And for most of us, eating 6 times a day, snacking all day, grazing all day, isn't so much about keeping our metabolism going. It's just about impulse eating and not knowing how to turn that off. We've managed to turn that around to be something that looks like it's good for us, with the 6 times a day snacking, and you try for carrot sticks and celery sticks and cucumber sticks and things. But at the end of the day, if you're not hungry, don't eat. And so for the majority of us, if we end up in the kitchen and we don't know why we're there and we're not hungry, then it's an incorrect behavior that's firing off without purpose, without our permission, without our awareness. And that's the main thing. It's firing off without your awareness. Because if you find yourself in the kitchen and you don't know why you're there, if you haven't gone in there with specific direct purpose to make a meal, or to because you're hungry and it's time to eat, if you're in the kitchen and you do not have that direct, clear purpose, then it is an old learned behavior that's firing incorrectly. So what I want to talk about is that. So all the other eating styles aside, that's what I want to talk about. If that's you, then this is for you today to hear and find out more. So I talked earlier today about being on autopilot, how we end up in the kitchens because our body's on autopilot, just like a plane, and the pilot's gone, I'll just pop you on autopilot while I go to the bathroom, or check out something down the back, or have a nap, whatever pilots do, I'm not sure. So if if you find yourself in the kitchen, you're not really sure why you're there, you didn't go with a specific purpose, then your body's running on autopilot, and that means you're functioning, you've got an old learned behavior functioning in your body, because your body is the encyclopedia of every behavior that you've ever learned in your whole life. Every single one. Learning to drive a car, learning to ride a bike, everything, all your time mechanisms for eating that you learned at primary school, kindergarten, every job that you've had that's had different times for eating, every time you went on holidays, you were playing out all of those times, but then you set some new ones. We are just an absolute walking encyclopedia of every learned behavior we've had and every habit we've ever had. Unless you've purposely broken free of a behavior or just literally outgrown it, but your body remembers everything. So standing in the kitchen without a purpose, in the refrigerator, in the pantry, eating over the sink, mindlessly snacking out of packets of chips anytime, is a learned behavior. And it's because you're on autopilot. If you were... That's the mindless thing, right? That's this hand to mouth that you get with chips and popcorn and salty things, or a bag of anything, a bag of sweets of any kind. So it's about bringing in awareness to that. But that's what we talked about earlier. And there's some other factors that have you in the kitchen all the time, and one of the main ones is, I'm going to go back to the 3 meals a day, because the majority of people get up, don't have breakfast because they're not hungry, because they ate all day the day before, they ate just before bed, or ate almost right up to bedtime. So they wake up, they have coffee, they have tea, they have whatever they have. Some people just don't wake up hungry. I don't always wake up hungry. And so they don't eat right there and then the day gets cracking. And what happens is, by the time they do get hungry, they're not in a space or time where they can sit down and have a meal. That might be when they're at work, or when they're running the kids around, or at whatever time. It's not where the day is allowing for them to go, right, now I'll sit down and have breakfast. So the first thing that happens is they didn't have breakfast. When they got hungry, it's at a time that is not a match for sitting down and have a meal. So they eat something on the run, or they have a snack. Generally, eating on the run and having a snack, unless it's been pre-prepared, will be something that is, well, they're just that, a snack on the run. So it'll be whatever is available. we are really poor planners when it comes to food. I know some people are magnificent planners for food and others not so much. I used to be in the not so much category. But so number one, didn't have breakfast. Number two, got hungry when it was inconvenient to stop and eat. Didn't have food, so you ate something that was not hearty, filling and sustainable and satisfying, nourishing for your body. You ate on the run. We've talked about that, where you need to sit down and pay attention to your food. So you've eaten it, didn't pay attention, and it wasn't satisfying. Then as the day goes on, you get hungry again at like lunchtime comes, but because you sort of snacked mid-morning, by the time lunch comes you're not really that hungry either, so you don't eat, and then you snack again, and it's this sort of perpetual cycle of snacking without paying attention to the food. So let me just write that down. So it's a few things. So snacking, with an I in there, not paying attention to food. Can you read that? Too small maybe. Not paying attention to the food. It's not nutritional. It's not nutritional. Well, do for words. And so it's not sustaining you. I always remember seeing a funny post on Facebook. I think my lovely friend Wendy posted it a long time ago, and it says, I've had 45 snacks already, perhaps it's time I sat down and had a real meal. And that's the truth of what happens, because if you just keep snacking, you just keep snacking. And then when you get to a meal, because you've never actually let yourself get hungry through the day because you were snacking, and sugary, milky products actually don't make you feel full, but they really take the edge off hunger. And so you sit down to a meal and you go, I'm not really that hungry, but you haven't given your body nutrition or anything that sustains it. So you don't eat a proper meal, and then you get stuck on this vicious cycle. I knew a dog once that used to really like to eat those nuts off the cocos palms. Have you ever seen those? They fall, they've got an orangey coating on them, and he used to love those nuts, and the owner didn't mind him eating them. I thought it was really not that good for him, because you know they're just nuts, and then they'd sit in his little belly. He was only a little doggy, and he would eat them. And when I'd see him, it's like, oh wow, you know, he's got this little, you could see he's got a little belly full of nuts. But when it came to dinner time, he always turned up. Even though he's got a little pot belly full of nuts, he would turn up and he would want his dinner. Because you can eat rocks and nuts all day, little berry seedly things all day. You can eat them all day, but if there's no nourishment in them, you're still going to be hungry at the end of the day. Your body still says, well, I'd like some nutrition, please. I feel full, but I don't feel satisfied. So this is a big part of why you end up in the kitchen, because you're stuck on this snacking cycle. And once you're stuck in the cycle, you've got to be able to pull yourself out. So there's a few things that we just talked about that's happening. You've got learned behaviours. That have you headed back into the kitchen over and over. Your body's on autopilot. Oops. You've been over snacking all day. So you're not hungry, but you're not satisfied. Because I'm sure you can, you would know the same as me, that you stand in the kitchen and you're going, what do I want? I don't even know what I want. Or you might stand at a cabinet full of food in the days when we're allowed to go to the takeaway shops and the cafes and things, and you're looking and you're going, I don't know what I want. If you're really hungry, you go, I want that. But we're not hungry because we're snacking. But we're snacking because our bodies are on autopilot and it's following a learned behavior. So what we want to do, we want to cross that all out, and cross that all out. And what we want to do is know what to do to prevent the snacking thing. Now, we talked about it the other day. We talked about meal appreciation. That's sitting down and really enjoying your meal, making it an occasion, taking your time to consume it. We talked about, I said if you just did this one thing, which was sit down every time you ate. Oops. If you do that one thing, even if you're snacking, even if you're in the kitchen, you're repeatedly going to the kitchen, if the thing that you grab out of the fridge, instead of eating it mindlessly over the sink or just at the fridge, is take it, put it on a plate, sit down and really give it your focused attention and enjoy it. Because if you do that, your brain's going to go, ooh, I just had some food and I paid attention and I liked it and I feel that satisfaction in me. But what it really will pick up on is the fact that you sat down and you relaxed. You had your 3 breaths before every mouthful. You chewed for 3 breaths. And you release some tension from the body. Because the tension in the body, you need to have a relaxed body. If our body gets really, really tense, the more we are focused on, getting a million things done. If you're a multitasker and somebody who has 50 plates spinning in the air, you're at a run all the time. So you've got a bit of, you're running on adrenaline because that's what gives us the oomph and the energy to go. So relax our body, release that tension throughout the day. And what I talked about at lunchtime today was how to shift down through the gears throughout your day. So shift down your gears. And what that means is, think about when you're driving a car, right? If you're driving along and there's the red light, you can see it coming, you're coming down the hill, you know it's a red light, but you just accelerate right till the last minute and bam, slam on your brakes. You get thrown forward, everything in the car gets thrown around, and you sort of, when the car bounces back to a stop position, you're jostled, right? Your brain's all over the place. Your body has to reorientate itself. It's actually what happens within your body. It's got to get itself reorientated. But if you see that red light, you're coming down the hill, and you do what normal people do, which is you start to apply the brake, you accelerate, you change down a gear, 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 and you pull up nice and gently at the lights and feel good, calm and relaxed, ready to go. If you take that understanding of how the car is and apply it to your day, we run through our day. We just do this, we do that, we've got so many things. If you've got kids, if you're at work, even now there's still people driving around to work and having to get places. If you're at 100 miles an hour a day, even 50 miles an hour a day, 50k, if you're running at a fast pace through your day, and then you get home, you're in the door, you're, doing whatever your evening, afternoon ritual is. You get everything away, and then, you know, it comes to that time where you can sit on the couch. It's Friday night. You might go, oh man, I can't wait to sit down and relax. But just, you're like that car that's come to the red light and you've stopped suddenly rather than shifting down through the gears. So you sit, but your body's still running at max speed because you haven't shifted down through the gears. You haven't been applying the brake. And so you sit down and go, right, relax now. Do it now. And your body goes, man, I'd love to, but I've still got adrenaline I've got to process, and I've got, you know, tension in my muscles, and it wants to, because you're commanding it, sit, relax. That's when we have a whine or something, because we try and soothe our body down. But what happens is we still have all that residual tension, which comes out in eating, because that's what the eating is about. It's helping to release that tension, or we're trying to soothe it or self-medicate it with, no, come on, relax. And so when it doesn't, that's what the evening graze is. So a lot of people will tell you, oh, I eat so much at night, but that's why, because they're not shifting down through the gears during the day. And that can cause a lot of returning to the kitchen over and over and over again through the night, right up till you go to bed. So you go to bed with a full belly, and then in the morning, of course, you don't wake up feeling hungry because you went to bed with a full belly. It's all still there. And then the whole cycle starts again, running through the day, snacking because you're not hungry, all of that stuff. It's just a nasty cycle, and to get out of it is start with the meal appreciation. Whatever you're eating, even if you are snacking all day, sit down, enjoy the food, take the time, let your brain know you're having it, breathe through it, let that body relax, shift down through your gears through the day. Know that you're wanting to relax at the end of the night. Start shifting your thoughts into the downside rather than rush, because it's how fast we rush in our mind. You need to shift your mind to shift your body. Okay, I need to put the kids to bed, and when you're putting the kids to bed, instead of thinking about the 50 other things that you need to do, relax with the kids. As you're putting your groceries away in the afternoon, or whatever you're doing in the afternoon, maybe you're doing a gym workout, but be thinking already, okay, when I finish this, I'm gonna start to wind down. I'm starting to wind myself down. It's because we don't wind our mind down, our body doesn't wind down. So start thinking about that. What else did I talk about this morning? I thought of something and whoops, gone. Anyway, so they're the main things to help stop the snacking all day and being a refrigerator, because when this quarantine's over, you want to have improved your health. You want to know that you've come through this time and you've really improved your health and you've made the most of the time, because when great change comes, it's a great time to make great change. And that's what we could be doing and can be doing right now, is taking that time to create great change for us. The world has created this massive change for us. Now it's giving us the opportunity to make a personal, chosen, authorized great change for us. You know, a lot of people, when they move house, change jobs, make some big change, get into a new relationship, what they do is they go, it's like a clean slate, and then they start going to gym, then they start changing their health habits, then they give up smoking, then they start saving, they just, whatever it is, they make a big change. Because when we break through that cow path that we walk on all the time, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, throughout our life, when we break through a cow path and get taken off it, either with coronavirus or, you know, like I said, moving house, changing jobs, whatever, that's when it seems to be really liberating for us to go, great, I'm going to make a clean sweep across the board, or I'm going to change these other things that I've been talking about for so long, and this is the way to start. Meal appreciation. Sit down every time you eat. Relax your body as you go. Change and shift down through your gears through the day, so by the time you get to the end of the evening, you're relaxed. That's what I was going to say about taking the time to transition. This is how you shift through your gears, to transition through each task that you're doing during the day, because we usually just go bam, 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 one after the other with no break in between. Maybe you go to the loo, maybe this is when you're going to the kitchen, right? Your body's going, oh, because you've got these little tiny gaps between tasks that you do, but you don't take the time to sit down and just transition. Life is about transitioning. It's always a transition between the tasks you do all day, every day, between the circumstances of your life, between going from work to going home to going to work, when you get home, going to dinner, to bed. There's these gaps. You stop at the shops, you go to the gym. There's a gap, there's an opportunity to have a moment of relaxation in between everything. While you're waiting in line at a supermarket, most people are scrolling on phones or kind of, you know, oh, hurry up people, hurry up. That's a time where you can have a minute to go, okay, and relax. Let your body relax. That's just shifted you down a gear. There's that moment between cooking your meal and sitting down to eat it. 60 seconds before you put that first mouthful of food in your mouth. That's shifting down a gear. That's going, I'm going from here to here. I'm going to eat it. There's 60 seconds at the end of the meal. I mentioned the other day about taking your time. You finished your meal, sit there for 60 seconds, 5 minutes. That's shifting gears. That's just not continually going, it's shifting gears. If you did that all day, every day, you'd increase the relaxation in your body, and you would have less instances of impulse eating and standing in the kitchen with the fridge door in your hand going, I don't know why I'm here. So just remember, it's about how you think about what you're doing, and mostly we're not thinking about it at all. So it's about getting yourself off autopilot, not offline, because you're already offline. You want to get back online. It's about getting yourself out of autopilot, putting your pilot back in your seat, which is your awareness of you and what you're doing, and just remembering, okay, if I slow stuff down, then I can bring my awareness in, and then I can get a handle on some things that I'm doing. I hope that makes sense for you. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for the Dietless Living word of the day. That's the word each day to remind you who you are and how amazing that you are, and that you have every strength and every capability within you, and every courageous trait to do anything. We just forget how great we are because we get caught up in some of the other hoo-ha and pish-posh that goes on upstairs. Remember who you are. Keep an eye out for those posts, those word of the day posts. If you thought this was helpful, please share it with your friends and share the love. And there's a little link in the comment section with the video where you can download a poster. I've got one here to show you. It's called Wait. It's just got the word. You can pop it on your fridge. It really does help if you just see that and think, okay, wait. Just wait before you open the fridge. And just ask, what's happening? What am I about to do? Assess your situation. What's happening in my body? Because it's your body that's on autopilot that's taken you there. Investigate and identify your thoughts, feelings and behaviours. And then T, turn around and think, what else can I do to feel relief? Because that's all your body's looking for, is some relief. And most of us are thinking, oh, I'm so stressed, food will fix that. Food is the problem, it's not the solution, okay? So just remember that. If you want a picture of that, a poster of that, just click on the link and download it. It's actually a much more colourful poster than my printout turned out. So grab yourself a copy of the poster, and I will see you on Monday. So live streaming Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays at 1 and 4:30. Different topics each day, and I will see you next week on Monday. Have a really, really, really great weekend. Take care of yourself. Hopefully, it would be lovely if we got a little bit of rain, to be honest, although I do like the sunshine. Either way, I'm happy. So take care, and I will see you on Monday. Bye for now. Love you.